Chad, it's All-Star Weekend.
Yes, it is. Right here in our own backyard.
For the NBA specifically, for those who don't know.
Yes.
In case that needed clarifying.
Yep, we do reside in Salt Lake City. NBA All-Star Game.
I know. SL, UT.
Indeed.
As the T-shirts say. But, I thought I'd get in the spirit of things and clicked over to comc.com and they have an NBA All-Star auction highlight.
Yeah, I was surprised at that banner bar.
It's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked on it and here we are over on eBay.
Yeah, you're scrolling.
Starting off with a Tyrese Maxey, scrolled right past that, but you got some Luka. Luka's been doing all right lately. Got in a little tiff with Kyrie over a little game-winning shot.
Get used to that.
Yeah, that's going to cause trouble.
But why are we here?
I just thought, we've been doing pretty well on the show. Things are looking up, and figured I'd spend some of our ad revenue.
I think you may have to keep scrolling there a bit.
Oh, I know. Am I looking too high? Got Luka at, $690?
With 2 days left.
2 days left. Nope, can't do that one.
There's a Wilt.
There's a Wilt.
That was nice.
That was nice, yeah.
Kobe Chrome.
Kobe. We got Russell Westbrook. Hey, there you go.
Jasmine. Still too high, though.
Oh, still too high. His stuff's overpriced still.
Yeah, we're getting down in the 100s now.
Okay.
Can you get to the bottom of the page?
Yeah.
Go to the very last page there, number 9.
Okay. Here, I'm dropping it to 240 items per page.
Yeah. I think we'll be closer to our price range. You're going to scroll all the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah, we're at $11.
Wow.
And I think you're going to still have to go to the last page. 99
sweet.
cents.
99-cent page. Here we go. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, you are our accountant for the show.
Oh, we got 99 cents. That's what we're talking about.
Did we generate enough from that last week?
Why is it saying my car's declined?
There's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Call for a doctor.
Always entertaining, accidentally informative. We are bringing nostalgia and camaraderie to the hobby. That's Tim. I'm Chad, and this is Back to the Future podcast. Tim, season 2, episode 2.
Already. Look at that.
Who would have thought?
I know. Nicely done.
For the handful of people that were able to hear episode 1.
I think we got up to about 23 on the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All of one, I think there was one podcast host that published. That worked out well. You know what they say about things that aren't broken? Blow them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, try and fix them.
Yeah, just you need a little chaos in your life sometimes.
Yeah, what? It's be far too smooth
No.
if things were to just go off without a hitch.
No, yeah, I mean, like I self-destruct everything else in my life, so why not, right?
Oh boy. So obviously we're going to talk about that. But guys, in this episode, we are going to be talking all things Super Bowl cards. We're going to be talking about quarterbacks, quarterback values. Tim, you found a wonderful top 10 list of top 10 Super Bowls, and kind of if we could go back in time, what would we do with cards, players?
Look at that.
And I found some Super Bowl sets that I think people should know about, and I got myself into trouble doing this. Big time trouble, and my wallet is hurting now.
Yeah, and I don't know what's worse, your treadmill shopping at 4:30 in the morning or drunken stupor Super Bowl Sunday shopping.
Oh boy. So I'll certainly fill you guys in on that. And I don't know which one's worse, to be honest. But Tim, before we jump into Super Bowl,
are we allowed to say that? The big game.
Super Bowl card?
Let's go with that.
Super Bowl, how do I say parentheses on the air? Like, can I allude to the fact that we're not actually saying bowl, but it's just in parentheses?
The bowl of parentheses super cards. There you go.
I like it.
Yeah.
Tim, the last week, very eventful.
Yeah.
How did last Saturday go for you?
Last Saturday. What happened last Saturday?
The release of season 2, episode 1.
Oh.
I know there was at least one person out there who was thrilled about the way this went down.
See, like, I don't even remember our episode releasing on Saturday. That's not good. And I was the one that uploaded it.
That's because nobody remembers our episode uploading on Saturday, Tim.
Man. I blocked that from my memory already.
So, guys, we have a team. The team is working very hard to fix.
Yeah.
It did not go according to plan. Know that your two favorite podcasters here collectively had 3 aneurysms last Saturday. We were just as frustrated as you are, but we're going to get this fixed. We're going to right this ship, and things are going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
We're going to be there for you every Saturday.
Smooth sailing from here on out.
Yeah, don't you even worry about it.
Nope.
But you hinted at this earlier. We do have the All-Star Game NBA coming up.
Yeah.
Right here. It'll be out. All-Star Game will be the day, I think, or the weekend that people are listening to this.
Exactly. Yep.
Right here in Salt Lake City.
Festivities are getting up to speed. They're blocking off roads. They're telling you to avoid downtown at all costs.
I heard they even put pop-up liquor store downtown. My wife told me that as I was walking.
Did they really?
Yeah.
How'd they figure that one out?
I don't know. In Utah, we do not allow liquor.
Wow.
Or stores.
Somebody paid a lot of money for that license.
Yeah.
A lot.
So festivities, I've heard about some things. You doing anything?
I am not, but I thought about it because there's a card show that's going on this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Might have to check it out if we can find our way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have to do that. Brunch first or no? Where are we with that? The people do want to know. We didn't discuss this, but the people do want to know where we stand on the current brunch situation. So can you give us an update?
I think I'm firmly in brunch withdrawals. You know, like I'm seeing little breadcrumbs everywhere, and I just getting the shakes.
So you might brunch and then show this weekend.
I don't know. Am I detoxing? Do I detox off brunch along with the gambling? I don't know. This is no man's land for me.
I don't
right
know
now.
how to keep up with you at your ever-changing list of activities. But
brunch hasn't happened for a while, so I don't. Yeah, the new lady of this current host of the podcast is not a morning person, so we are a late night snacky couple. Yeah.
So you fell right into that we.
Yeah.
So yep.
Yeah,
that's where it goes. Okay. So we got card show associated with the All-Star Game that we may or may not attend. I'm not planning on going to any of the festivities either. I got to be honest with you. Being a Jazz fan this year has really been a down year. It does not have me excited about basketball or really the All-Star Game.
It's too bad. It was supposed to be a fun year. It started off as a fun year.
Yep. We did have some of our listeners reach out. One of the WNBA players said she would be in Salt Lake City.
She did.
And she posted on Instagram, hey, if anyone wants to play some pickup on Friday, hit me up.
I know.
And I did hit her up. I saw
that.
We have yet to receive a response.
No. We did get a response from Instagram saying that you will not get a response from this person because they have not enabled public messages.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Bubble
Could
burst.
you imagine us trying to
burst.
play basketball against a WNBA player?
Oh, that'd be high comedy. Come on. I would tear my other Achilles in a heartbeat.
Oh, it would be rough. So anyway, you got the All-Star Game to look forward to. Always a fun time. I'm sure we'll trigger some people to go online and do some binge buying of sports cards. Very similar to the way people do with Super Bowl cards, which we'll talk about in just a minute.
Sure. Yep.
Anything else happened to you this past weekend that you want to disclose?
No, it was pretty low key. Yeah.
I was up to a little something on Friday.
Yeah, so here.
Little fucking. Can I say that on the air? Can I say that on the air? Friday nights are made for fecking.
I did not push the beep button. I think you're okay there. But please clarify.
For those of you who don't know, Friday is the day to unwind. If you work the traditional Monday through Friday, you get off work, you grab your spouse, your significant other, you open up a nice bottle of red, and it leads to fecking.
You're just going to have to clarify on that. So,
friends, eBay, cocktails,
okay,
and cards.
Naturally.
And that's what you do Friday nights. I hop on the Instagram after I've had a nice beverage. I said, hey.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to buy some cards.
No.
And people guided me to a couple of cards, Tim, and they have arrived in the mail.
Well, imagine that. Good job, USPS.
This is something that both of these cards are something that I've had in my eyes for quite some time. I'll put this up for those of you watching on YouTube. Back to the Future podcast.
We're getting the hang of this thing, So check out Back to the Future podcast on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
But
the first card here, Tim.
Yep.
Does that one look familiar at all?
That looks quite familiar.
93, I should probably pull this up here so I can read it. Upper Deck SE Shaquille O'Neal die cut All-Stars out of the East.
That's really cool.
The Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I saw the 32 star.
So we purchased that one at the council of our Instagram chat.
Not Esquire.
Nope.
No.
Reads everything, won't comment though. And I've got one other here. 93 Skybox Premium horizontal card, dynamic dunks of your guy, Michael Jordan.
That's it.
This brings back so much nostalgia.
That's
I
crazy.
remember opening these packs at the 7-Eleven down the street from my house. I kid you not. And looking for these dunk cards.
Wow. That's a good looking card. Like, it just makes you want to like go attend a Regal ball or something right now.
It does.
Yeah, it's glorious.
So picked up a couple of those, was super happy with them. And that was my Friday night. I'll get that camera working.
Yeah.
So Tim,
Yep.
I spent my Friday night fecking with Mr. Jordan. But meanwhile, the rest of the world last weekend watched the Super Bowl.
This is true. Yep. It was a big day.
It was.
Yep. Big game.
You found out some interesting things, or you saw a post on social media about the value of cards following the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I thought this was pretty interesting. It really spurred this entire episode. So why don't you tell people what you saw and let's go from there.
Yeah, that sounds good. So immediately after the game, get a little notification in my Facebook app and it's like, ding. Except not really ding because I have all my volume and notifications silenced, but I digress. There was a post in one of the big card groups saying that, hey, I've got this nice Patrick Mahomes Contenders Auto PSA 10 for sale. Don't at me, bro, for asking for non-last week prices. And he was very adamant that he knew what he had and did not lowball him.
Bold move.
Bold move.
Okay.
Not sure how that strategy worked out for him, Cotton, but the comment section, I think, was really in line with what I think we've known and also wanted to just kind of share with others about card prices after a championship.
Okay.
We've this on this a couple times in previous episodes of ours, but specifically in like the basketball sense with LeBron. But in this case,
right.
In this case, this is Mr. Mahomes, right? Because he's obviously on his way to compiling himself quite the resume as far as career achievements.
2 Super Bowls now.
2 Super Bowls now, which is pretty incredible. On his way to chasing after Brady, I think. But anyway, his card values, this guy assumed that they would go up after this Super Bowl win. And would you say that that was a correct assumption or an incorrect assumption?
Well, I know the answer to this. This is an incorrect assumption.
It's an incorrect assumption. We'll just get that out of the way. It is a very incorrect assumption. And the comment section was also in line with this because card values tend to go down after a championship win, not up, because people get all the same ideas and they flood the market with their cards. And supply and demand. When there's too much supply, the demand's not there. Price goes down because leading up to the playoffs, the price is already built into some of these Super Bowl QBs and Super Bowl players. So
I still think that a lot of this too, we talked about this on John Newman's podcast, Sports Card Nation. I still think that people buy into hype and there's so much value that is built into hype. And flooding the market goes into that as well. But we've got some examples, not only of this Super Bowl, but the previous 2 as well to illustrate this point. Tim, you took a look at not only Mahomes, but also Jalen Hurts. Let's go ahead and jump into that right now.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, obviously the 2 key quarterbacks of this year's Super Bowl. And I guess the point that we're trying to prove with some actual data is that, you know, these card prices, they really were built in leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, for example, just rewinding a little bit on the most common Mahomes rookie card, or most recognizable, I guess, would really be his 2017 Prim Silver. You know, in a PSA 10, back at the end of January 29th to be specific, it had already achieved a price of $4,450. And so over the course of that week, it kind of waxed and waned between, 3,900, 4,900. And then even on the 8th, it hit as low as $3,900. So you would think that the price would maybe go up a little bit, after the Super Bowl. But in this case, kind of not cratered, but, kind of leveled out at $4,200 during the Super Bowl, with one kind of erroneous sale afterwards at $5,100. So that doesn't quite prove the point, but it does show you that overall, that card price has already been built in leading up to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That averages out to effectively no change.
Well, it's kind of hard. So it's hard to follow these numbers by listening to it, but we will prove that in the coming weeks and months that I would expect that card to not skyrocket is the point that you're making.
Right.
But to either perhaps go down or at least stay flat.
Yeah.
Right. And we're just not far enough removed. I mean, we're not even a week away removed from right now to be able to tell people this year's illustration.
No, that's true. But, I think this guy on Facebook, for example, though, he was expecting this to skyrocket immediately after the Super Bowl. And, I just don't know that happens.
So let's do this. I've got the last 2 Super Bowl winners and let me illustrations to prove your point. And let's go to Hurts.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So last year we had Matt Stafford winning the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yeah.
And that game was on February 13th, which will be key in these numbers here. So I took a 2009 Topps Chrome Refractor PSA 10, very similar product and card. 2 weeks before this game on February 13th, 2022, February 1st, $2,700.
Okay.
Okay. The day of the Super Bowl, there was a sale for just over $1,000. I mean, that hype, people were buying the hype.
Yeah.
And then selling quite low during the Super Bowl. A month later, in March, that card was down less than $1,000.
Oh, just like that.
Keep in mind, the timing's interesting, right? In 2021, we did see market fluctuations, but that was a huge drop a month later for the Super Bowl winner. Go back even a year prior to that when Tom Brady won with the Bucks.
Yeah.
This is Tom Brady, greatest of all time. It's not even an argument with the number of Super Bowls this guy has won. His card trying to figure out which one to pick was a little bit trickier. I went with the Contenders Rookie Ticket Auto, the BGS 9. A month before the Super Bowl, it was around 41,000, jumped right up to 80,000 right at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It didn't tank like Stafford did, but it didn't budge in the next month. It did not go up. And this is, again, Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl with a new team just to solidify that he wasn't just a system guy with New England.
Right.
And that card did not skyrocket. So this guy that you talked about with Mahomes, wanting his cards to skyrocket,
right.
Get out of here.
No, if Brady didn't budge, then Mahomes sure isn't.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly it. Now, what about Hurts?
Hurts, he's slightly an enigma, mostly because he hit peak hype, I think, during regular season almost, because he got hurt. And kind of leading into the playoffs, there wasn't a whole lot of buzz. People were like, maybe he's not going to do so great because he's injured,
Sure.
Sprained the sternoclavicular joint, which, is
That's a
that
big
joint
word,
between your collarbone and the breastplate. And that would kind of hurt, right?
I would assume
it would hurt. So expectations were low, but on the flip side of that, his card, his PSA 10 for his 2020 Contenders Auto was $2,450 around Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And so heading into the playoffs, already kind of high, and then it actually dropped to about $2,175 on February 3rd. So kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Leading into it.
It is.
I
think that hype. So let's go back to this, though. Just before Christmas Eve, were the Eagles still undefeated? And this could have been no, maybe it wasn't pre-injury. I digress.
Yeah, we can cut that out.
Yeah. Lots of editing this episode, folks.
No, but anyway, Hurts. I think he still has room. If he had won this year, it would have been interesting to see what his cards do. But I think he's already, his prices have already been kind of built in as well too. And so for about $2,500, you could pick up one of these Contenders autos. But this is a huge tangent, unfortunately. But his 2020 Prism Silvers, a PSA 10 sold for $800 on February 12th. And at that same time, if you wanted to just spend a little bit less money, you could actually pick up a PSA 9 of his Prism Silver with an auto. I was like, so would you rather have a PSA 10 of his Prism Silver, or do you want like a PSA 9 with an auto?
Huh.
I mean, a sticker auto.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, but his cards, I mean, they kind of did did the same thing that Mahomes did as far as just kind of plateauing Super Bowl week instead of actually spiking further.
And if he follows past trends from the last couple of years, I would expect these numbers to drop. And if you want to get him, wait a couple of weeks and pick him up. For example, Joe Burrow last year, boy, that 2020 class.
Oh,
so good.
It's filthy. Yeah.
So good. The NFL's in good hands going forward. But Joe Burrow, so his Prism Silver PSA 10, right around the time of the Super Bowl, right around $4,000. A month later, that thing dropped down to $3,000, lost 25% of its value. And then we go back a year prior to that with Mr. Patrick Mahomes, as you mentioned. His card dropped $1,000 for his Prism Silver rookie year PSA 10, dropped $1,000 after he lost that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So I think we're going to see, if you believe in Hurts, even though his price, as you said earlier, Tim, was already high because baked into the hype with him, if you still want to pick him up in the coming weeks, probably the right time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just going to hold true, right? I mean, not even just in football, but just across the board for sports. I mean, you should just be patient and wait off season, But yeah, a month after a championship, it just does seem to be the sweet spot. People's attention kind of waver and then go elsewhere. So the demand also drops precipitously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, good numbers for this year's Super Bowl quarterback. So I think it's impressive. Quick recap. Hurts is going to be a good buy.
Yeah, Hurts is going to be a good buy.
His cards drop in value, I guess I should say, if you want to pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's debatable, right? Like, people still think he's a running back and, aren't quite giving him the cred that he probably deserves. I mean, he put up, like, huge fantasy numbers in the Super Bowl. I don't know what else you want him to do, right?
And are you paying a premium on Mahomes?
No, negatory.
Yeah.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Well, guys, some other Super Bowl stuff. Tim, you found a list, just thinking, getting everyone kind of rolling in that Super Bowl card mentality.
Yep.
As we want to prolong this NFL season.
Yeah, I know. We're going to miss the NFL.
Tim, you found a list. Why don't you talk a little bit about it and then pull off 2 or 3 people from this list that you got? But tell people what you found.
Yeah, I mean, just spurring further discussion about Super Bowl players. It's not just all about the QBs, right? There's always memorable plays, memorable highlights. And so we came across this list of what the Bleacher Report called the top 10 Super Bowl games. And I just wanted to read through them, and kind of see, so of these notable Super Bowls, which of these players would you have maybe wanted to collect, and, like, how have their card values maybe held up over time after their notable Super Bowls. So one that stuck out for me was Mr. Kurt Warner in the 1999 to 2001 range. Greatest show on turf. Super Bowl. Which number was that one? That's right. Super Bowl 34. So the one where Kevin Dyson came up just inches short of the
former
goal line.
Former Utah Ute.
That's right. So, I picked this guy specifically because, I don't know if you'd ever go back and collect him, but, now that I planted the seed, you might be curious to know that if you just go back to 2020 Select, you can get one of his great looking autos for just $2 to $5.
Who are you talking about, Dyson or Warner?
Dyson.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that a shame? Do you think his failure got priced into his prices?
Wow, that cut deep, and I didn't think you were going there. I'm shook.
Poor guy. We should put up a picture of his auto, though. It's glorious. I think it's a very underrated, underappreciated auto in the hobby. It's one of the prettiest ones I've actually seen.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Derrick Henry and Kevin Dyson. Mano a mano for like the best looking Titans autos out there, I think. So
if that category existed, there we go.
There you go.
I think you just
created it. So No, but Kurt Warner, I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, this guy, such a cool story. You know, he's got movies made after him about his whole story. He's won a Super Bowl, and his autos are still just $100 and $150 each, you know?
Wow.
Right? I mean, like, you could pick worse quarterbacts to collect.
I agree.
And that's
agree.
some pretty good value right there. Ones that I came across. So, thought it was interesting that, well, while we're on Kurt Warner, I forgot to mention that his 2021 Flawless Star Patch Auto 1 of 1. Speaking of affordability, I mean, just for any collectors out there, it only sold for $565, and this thing was a glorious patch, you know. So a 1-1 patch auto, Kurt Warner. Talk about value, you know. So
yeah,
you think you wait long enough, like someday maybe Mahomes and Hurts cars will, you know, just continue to drop that low?
Not a chance.
Not a chance?
Not a chance. No, Warner, I mean, Tim, you know the answer to this. You tease it, but you know this. I mean, Warner had no hype, obviously.
Right,
He was an Arena League guy or Canadian Football League guy. Bagging groceries, everyone knows that story for a while.
Yep.
The hype gets built into it, and then he's a flash for a couple of years and does great.
Yeah.
But no, he's those guys will never be at the level of his cards are. So if you were a fan, that would be a great buy.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's really what I wanted to highlight too, was the great buys. You know, I mean, you have these super iconic players, right? Like, so going back to 2002, we've got some New England fans out there, right? You know, we know a few Patriots fans. And thinking back to, you know, Super Bowl 36, you know, you've got some pretty cool players there. You've got David Patton and then Ty Law, you know, one of the greatest defensive cornerbacks, you know, of his generation by far. And his cards, I thought were interesting. You know, I mean, you don't think of defensive players as frequently carrying like good card values.
No, because they don't.
They don't.
Ever.
But, you know, I mean, I think if you do make a name for yourself, it actually does something, you know. So his 2021 Flawless Patch Auto out of 3 I stumbled across at selling for $227.50. So, you know, that's a pretty solid price for a defensive player card. And so, you know, if you make a name for yourself, sometimes, you know, your cards will actually reflect that. On the flip side of it, you might remember Super Bowl 43, where the Steelers beat the Cards 27-23 on a wonderful catch by Mr. Santonio Holmes, one of the great Steelers wide receivers. His 2006 Exquisite RPA out of 99 can be had for just $22.50, despite that amazing catch that he made.
Yeah.
So
I think what you're saying here is that these very memorable Super Bowls coming from this iconic list that Bleacher Report created.
Feel free to read up on it and see if you agree. But
have some very key players with memorable moments whose card values do not translate into the hype of that of a prestigious quarterback.
They really just don't, you know. Yeah, I mean, the quarterbacks by far and away, you know, their card values are just always going to be there. But, you know, if you remember like David Tyree or Ty Law, or,
sure,
you know, some of these lesser names that just history tends to wash over, there's some pretty cool value to be had if you wanted to go back and, you know, commemorate your team or your players' Super Bowl wins.
And I think that's a great point. And when you sent me that list, it actually got me thinking like, well, are there cards out there that are reflective of those specific moments?
Yeah.
Not just those players, but the actual moments. And this is where I got myself into some trouble this last week.
What did you come up with, or what did you stumble across?
So there are some great sets out there of Super Bowl players. Mosaic. Mosaic's a very cheap version, cheaper version than some of the things that I'll say here.
Yeah.
But they have some inserts that are very subtle, but the Super Bowl logo just on the bottom of the card.
Yeah, interesting.
The card that I'm showing up here on YouTube is a Von Miller Super Bowl 50. This is a black parallel, 1 of 1, but just that Super Bowl logo right down there in the corner. These cards look so clean, in a very fun way that if you had a player or a team that played in the Super Bowl, to be able to pick something up. And of course, they have base versions of these cards that you can get, I'm sure, for pennies or a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And a real fun way to look at it. So Mosaic has been an excellent source. Impeccable has some very nice cards of kind of non-quarterback key players that you just mentioned. I saw a James Harrison for the Steelers. I think there's a Hines Ward that shows a photo of them holding the Super Bowl trophy and then an on-card autograph on there. And, those aren't going for a ton of money, just like you suggested. But again, just fantastic memories that are there as well. I picked up a week ago, Tim. Check out this card. I don't know what set it's from. It says Super Bowl 32 MVP. It's Terrell Davis.
Yeah, I see that auto already.
And it just says Panini. I honestly don't know what set this came from. It's an acetate card.
Yeah,
it's an on-card auto.
Weird.
Of Mr. Terrell Davis. And, of course, it's got him wearing the Super Bowl jersey. In the game that, of course, he won the MVP. This was a great-looking card, and this was well under $100.
Wow.
Which, for me, just hits all the feelers, right? I saw this, and it's one of those that's a no-brainer. Just... bam,
boom,
got to buy it.
Just had to buy it.
Just had to buy it.
I mean, he was a Super Bowl MVP, right? Like, how can you say no to that?
Right. Panini Instant will put out some of the sets. I think it's Instant. Instant, yeah.
Yeah, Panini Instant.
For me, those are kind of meh type sets, but they do have photos of the players within the Super Bowl.
That do. But the card design leaves, something to be desired. But
it does.
Yeah.
But the one that got me, National Treasures.
Oh, no. What did you do?
National
Treasures.
What did you do?
Uh-oh.
They put out, each year they've got a little something Super Bowl oriented. And I came across one that set me back $5,000.
That's all.
So there I was on Valentine's Day.
You can leave out some of the other details, but...
And I get the itch to do some feckin'. So I stand up and I pull it out. My phone, pull up eBay, and I'm doing some searching for the show.
Okay.
Because that's what we're giving to all you people out here.
On Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yep, that's dedication right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2021 National Treasures Super Bowl Immortality.
Oh.
Now, Tim, this photo here, I don't have this card in hand yet.
Uh-oh.
Photo of Mr. Elway, Super Bowl uniform during the Super Bowl game. Has this stamped on Super Bowl logo in holofoil.
Yeah, I see
platinum. That. You see this guy right here? You see that? Oh, baby.
Oh,
it's a 101. It's a 101.
Nice.
So a John Elway, 101 Super Bowl Immortality. And again, this was very much like the Terrell Davis. Of course, me being a huge Denver Bronco fan, this car, even though there's no patch, there's no auto, watching these two Super Bowls that Elway won, I watched them with my dad, watched them with my family, and those were some of my most fun memories growing up. I was a teenager during this era, and it just hit. It just grabbed me. The price on this one, I am certain I overpaid. I am certain of it. But this one was never going to leave. And it just brings up all those joys and feelings. So I would really encourage people that if you have had a team that has been fortunate enough to win a Super Bowl, you get someone who's the key player that isn't a quarterback, just like Tim was mentioning, go search for their cards and go on eBay, go on ComC, go on everywhere. Of course, if you go on to eBay, go to our website first, pttfpodcast.com, click on our eBay link, shop as usual, and we'll get a small cut.
Yeah.
Tell us what card you buy, and we'll put you on the air.
Exactly.
But go search for them. You can find some cheap cards that bring back these really great nostalgic moments for you.
Yep.
Or you can find some home runs, like for me with this John Elway.
That's the wrong analogy for football.
But I'm trying to do baseball. Remember the first episode? I said the 1 in 134 packs.
Okay.
I am trying.
You are trying. And today, pitchers and catchers reported. So
I'm trying, man.
Okay.
Trying.
I'll throw you a bone.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Tim. So let's see here. Super Bowls, we covered quarterback value.
We did.
We covered the fact that you can go pick up some key players who aren't necessarily Hall of Fame, well, not even Hall of Famers, not the quarterbacks, not the headliners.
Yeah.
You can get some great cards of people who had great moments.
Yeah.
And then there's also some stellar sets that are out there.
There really are. I mean, you just have to go hunting, These are inserts and sets that, probably go underappreciated by many. But, if you're a true fan and you have, like you said, a sentimental pull or a mental attachment to a certain moment or player, there's some cool cards to be had.
I'll tell you the biggest failure. We didn't talk about the failure. Panini Eminence.
Mm.
Peyton Manning with their Eminence set put him in a Denver Broncos uniform with the Super Bowl number from when he won it with the Colts right on the front of the card.
So bad.
So bad because
Basic
that card
research.
should be in my PC pyramid.
It should
right?
be.
It should be one top shelf, upper echelon, and they just screwed it up.
Screwed it all up.
God, I hate the Colts.
No, that would bother you so
and
much.
Panini,
if you had it.
frankly, you're screwing the pooch.
Yep. We
Be
already
better.
do that though.
Be better.
Be better. Be feckin'.
Oh, that's so good, Tim. Keep that up. You're going to earn yourself some feckin' yourself. All right, Tim, you got anything else for these guys?
No, I think that's it, man. So,
all right. This is on you. You got the board?
I'm working on it. All right, guys. So this was another fun show for us. We're working on it. This is season 2, episode 2. This is Tim and Chad working on finding our way to the next Friday's feckin'.
So you think people will hear the episode this week?
I hope so. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and do it again next week?
I hope so.
Next week, guys.
Oh.
We're going to do some product release, including Flawless Basketball.
I did say flawless a few times this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
Have you seen the product preview for that? Any of the photos?
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Oh, with the NBA 75 year.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
That's going to be expensive.
Next week going to be fun. I better not buy any cards. Searching for that next week.
No feckin' Friday. Yeah.